Hi, everyone. My name is Jordan Callett, and I just wanted to say thanks so much for joining us today for the University of Missouri Truelast College of Business alumni panel. We're so excited to have you be a part of it and ask you some questions about your Mizzou experience. So before we hop into some questions, I just want everyone to go ahead and introduce themselves. You can share your name, the major you had here at Mizzou, the year you graduated, and your current title or employment. So we can go Gretchen, Namdi, and then Jordan for this.
Sure. Hi, everybody. My name is Gretchen Metzger, and I graduated in May of 2019 with a business degree with a marketing emphasis. And since then, I have moved to Kansas City, Missouri, and have been working for Hallmark Cards as a marketing specialist. And I'm excited to be here today. Thanks for having me.
Hi, everyone. My name is Namdi Okoli. I'm a recent graduated in May. I studied accounting in undergrad and recently moved to Dallas, Texas. I work as a strategy analyst for Goldman Sachs.
Awesome. Hey, you guys. My name's Jordan Eskejian, and I graduated in December of 2019, and I moved to Kansas City, and I'm working at H&R Block as a financial analyst. And when I was at Mizzou, I studied business marketing.
Great. So for the first question, what is your favorite Mizzou memory?
Yeah, I love this question. And I think all of mine, I can't pick just one, but they all have to do with the quad at Mizzou. And, I think about old picnics or just even listening to music with friends on a warm day. But I think also the traditions on campus were some of my favorite memories, like senior send-off or Tiger Walk, or just those times when all my different groups would come and be a part of something that, represented what Mizzou meant to all of us and all of our shared experiences. And I think, it's just such a meaningful place on campus, and spending time there was my favorite.
This is a really tough question. Favorite Mizzou memory, I'd have to say my sophomore year. I was on AASB exec, and senior send-off my sophomore year was probably the most fun, my favorite Mizzou memory. It was a really hectic day, super kinetic. It was our first major event as an executive board, and our advisor Kyle, it was also her first semester in the role. So busy day. It was like a 14-hour day, but when you're working with really smart, talented people, time flies, and it was a lot of fun. So that probably has to be my favorite.
Awesome. Yeah, such a good question. I think that for me, my senior year was really special because when I was doing my last semester, my little sister was actually a freshman and she decided to go to Mizzou. And so my favorite Mizzou memories are just all of the times that I got to spend with her on campus and just experiencing all of the Mizzou traditions together, like Tiger Walk and Bid Day and Homecoming and all of those fun things. Just having her with me and making those memories together, it was really special.
That's great. The next question I have for you all is, how were you involved during your time at Mizzou?
Yeah, so I really, going into college, was really dead set on trying to be involved and learn as much as I can. And so that kind of started with being a summer welcome leader, and I got involved in new student programming. And with a leadership class on campus, I got to be a teaching assistant and kind of help out there. And that kind of transformed into doing more marketing and more major related tasks with my sorority, and getting to work on events as well with them. And then on the Alumni Association student board on campus, I got the chance to do some work with their events team as well. And that all definitely, made me who I am and helped me with my career potential too and growth. And so I'm definitely thankful for the involvement opportunities that Mizzou had.
So I'm from Wisconsin originally. So as an out-of-state kid, I was just trying to find a way to get connected, a way to make Mizzou a little bit smaller. And so I felt pretty lucky. I got to participate in some pretty awesome student organizations. I was on AASB, the Alumni Association Student Board, throughout undergrad, and also got a chance to work on Homecoming Steering Committee. During my final 2 years, I got to be a part of Rocking Against Multiple Sclerosis. And that was just an incredible and awesome and impactful experience. And then for 3 years, I was an RA. So worked as an RA in Wolpers for 3 years, and then worked for student affairs as well. So got a pretty good mix and made some really incredible friends and got some fantastic memories out of it.
Definitely. I think that just echoing what Namdi and Gretchen were saying, it's like there's so many amazing opportunities for involvement at Mizzou, and we'd really just want to encourage students to take advantage of them. I know that it definitely, makes Mizzou smaller. I was involved in Greek life when I was on campus, and also having the opportunity to get involved in the business school with things like the Cornell Leadership Program and the student council and business fraternities there. There's just so many different ways that you can meet people and just surround yourself with people who really encourage you and push you to reach your greatest potential. And Mizzou's just such a great place with wonderful people. So definitely get involved in all sorts of things that you can.
Yeah, I love hearing about all of your involvement at Mizzou. Going a little bit more into the business school, was there a resource offered by the True-Last College of Business or at Mizzou in general that you wish you would have discovered sooner? If so, how did that resource impact you and your experience at Mizzou?
Yeah, I would say the first thing that comes to mind with that question is definitely the business career services. I think I definitely got involved with Mizzou at the beginning of college, but not as much the business school. And then kind of realized in my final years that the business career services has so much, like not only printing resumes, but I set up some one-on-one appointments with some of the counselors or just staff there, and they were willing to talk through, my dreams and goals. And, I want to connect with this specific company, and they had connections that I could run with. So I would say definitely leaning into your career services part of the business school, because they're so willing to help. You just kind of have to share what your goals are and what you want to do.
Yeah, I'd have to say the resource that I felt within the College of Business that I wish I knew about but didn't utilize was they offer mock resumes. And resumes, like anything else that you're going to do, require extensive levels of practice so that you can be comfortable. So that when you get into an interview room with somebody that you're not familiar with, you can succeed and get the job. So that was something that I definitely wish as a freshman, as a sophomore, I would have taken advantage of. Just to get those reps in practice. And then at Mizzou in general, something that I think is super helpful just for general career prep, it'll give you a chance to work in a more professional environment, is the student jobs page. So student affairs, operations, pretty much all the Mizzou departments have student employees, and it's a really, the student jobs page is just a great place to find those opportunities and a way for you to sort of grow your professional skills while you're still in school in a little safer and friendlier environment.
I think that one of the things that I wish I would have discovered sooner, or been involved in sooner, is the different events that the business career services puts on. Like, I know they do a golf tournament and things like that. And moving into the professional world, it's like I've had some opportunities to attend dinners where things like the etiquette dinner would have come in handy, and attend golf tournaments that H&R Block has sponsored, where it would have been really nice if I could have, taken advantage of those opportunities in college and been able to kind of know what I was getting myself into. And then at Mizzou in general, I think that the Writing Center is a really great resource for students. I know, like, anytime I had essays or papers or even cover letters, the BCS will review them with you, but the Writing Center is a really great place to do that too. And you can submit everything to the online writery as well. So that's a great resource to take advantage of.
Yeah, that's some great information about the business school and Mizzou. We have one more question left for you all, and that is just, what is the best advice you can offer to the College of Business students today?
Yeah, I would say I have a lot of advice, but probably number one would be, don't be afraid of mentorship and networking, even as a student, as a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior. I think, some of the greatest things I learned in connections at Hallmark, where I work now, and different organizations I've learned a lot from, has been through really formally asking, would you be my mentor? Would you help me through this process and help me achieve the goals that I have? And people are so more than willing to help. And I know there's a lot of resources to do this through. The Alumni Association has a mentorship program, as well as Griffith's program has mentorship, and even the College of Business would be willing to set you up with a mentor. And so I would heavily encourage, I think, lean into those relationships that you can learn a lot from, because it's one thing to learn from classes, and professors even are great resources, but then even that, peers that you really respect. I'd advise definitely, try to find a couple mentors that can shape you and help you grow that way.
That's great advice. I would say the best piece of advice I give, I guess I'll pass on some great advice I received, and that's you have to be your own best advocate. Whether you're a freshman or a sophomore, some of you all are a little bit older. You guys are going to be going out into the workforce soon. Whether it's with your peers, professors, eventually managers and supervisors. Unfortunately, we haven't unlocked the technology to read people's minds yet, and so when you're working with people, when you're collaborating with people, it's really, really important that you're always voicing where you stand, your position, how you feel about things, because otherwise you leave it up to people's own devices and people will make assumptions, and it's just best to provide clarification and advocate for yourself, and it never hurts to voice how you feel in situations.
Those are awesome pieces of advice from Gretchen and Nnamdi. I think that I would just, putting my 2 cents in, I think that one of the things that being new in the professional workplace has taught me is just humility and like giving yourself grace. When you're new in a role, you're going to have a lot of questions, and you might not even know where to begin or where to start asking those questions, but everybody was new once. And so just kind of, learning what questions to ask and when, and kind of thinking, okay, even if I'm new here, like how can I show my eagerness and my willingness to learn, and just treating everyone with respect and having a positive attitude. And I think that showing your willingness to learn will take you a long way. And people really notice that and recognize people who have a positive attitude, and those people who are just willing to smile and take the extra time to put in the effort to learn things and just work a little bit harder.
That's great advice. And for me as a senior, I'll definitely utilize all those points in my last year the best I can. So that is all the questions we have. Thank you all for joining us today and really sharing your experiences. Being able to hear from 3 panelists from the business school is such a great opportunity for the students. And for the True Tiger Network members watching, don't forget that you have the opportunity to continue these conversations by signing up through our Mizzou mentoring program. You just take a short quiz and you'll be able to choose an alumni mentor, which could be one of these 3, with similar interests and similar career goals. So if you want some more information on that, you can check out the mizzou.com/mentoring. You can just type that in and find a mentor. But again, thank you, panelists, for joining us and giving us your time.
Thank you, Jordan. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jordan.